The number that killed a man. 500 BC. The Mediterranean Sea. A man drowns in these waters. Not by accident, not by pirates, but by his own brothers. His crime? He discovered a number. To understand why someone would kill over a number, we need to go back further. Southern Italy, 530 BC. A school stands by the sea. But this is not an ordinary school. This is a secret society. The Pythagorean Brotherhood. And at its center Pythagoras. Now, you probably know him from the theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. The one you learned in high school and immediately forgot. But what you might not know is that Pythagoras didn't just study numbers. He worshipped them, like gods, not metaphorically, literally. To the Pythagoreans, numbers were sacred. Numbers were perfect. Numbers were divine. All is number, they said. That was their motto, their religion, their entire worldview. Members of this brotherhood took vows of secrecy. They shared all possessions. They followed strict rules: no eating beans, no touching white roosters, no looking in mirrors by candlelight. Strange? Absolutely. But here's what mattered to them. They believed every number in the universe could be expressed as a ratio. A fraction. One whole number divided by another whole number. The harmony of music? Ratios. The orbits of planets? Ratios. The proportions of the human body? Ratios. Everything in the cosmos was ordered, perfect, and rational. The universe itself was a symphony of numbers, all in perfect harmony. And then someone broke it. Let me show you how. Draw a square. Each side has a length of 1. Simple enough, right? Now, draw a diagonal across this square. From one corner to the opposite corner. Question: how long is this diagonal? Well, we have a right triangle here. And Pythagoras himself gave us the tool to solve this. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, 1 squared plus 1 squared equals c squared. That's 1 plus 1 equals c squared. Which means 2 equals c squared. Therefore, c equals the square root of 2. The square root of 2. 1.4142. 13562373095. The numbers go on forever. No pattern, no end, no repetition. But here's the problem, the catastrophic problem. You cannot write the square root of 2 as a fraction. Try 7/5, too small. Try 10/7, too big. Try 99/70. Close, but still not exact. You can get closer and closer and closer. But you can never get it exactly. Never. The square root of 2 is what we call an irrational number. Not irrational, like crazy. Irrational, as in not a ratio. It cannot be expressed as one whole number divided by another. And this broke everything the Pythagoreans believed. Because that diagonal exists, doesn't it? You can see it, you can draw it, you can measure it with a ruler. But according to their philosophy, it shouldn't exist. A length that cannot be expressed as a ratio? Impossible, heretical, unthinkable. If the square root of 2 exists, then the universe is not made of perfect ratios. There are holes in reality, numbers that cannot be named. An imperfect cosmos, their entire worldview, shattered by a simple diagonal line. One member of the Brotherhood discovered this truth. His name was Hippasus. We don't know much about him. History has mostly forgotten Hippasus. But we know he was brilliant, curious, and perhaps too honest. Hippasus found the proof. He understood what it meant. And then he made a fatal mistake. He told others, outside the Brotherhood, outside the sacred circle of secrecy. He revealed the unutterable truth that irrational numbers exist, that the universe is not perfect, that Pythagoras was wrong. The Brotherhood gathered. What Hippasus had done was unforgivable. He had discovered something that contradicted their deepest beliefs. He had proven it with mathematics that couldn't be denied. And worst of all, he had told outsiders. According to legend, they took him on a boat, far from shore, out into the deep waters of the Mediterranean. And there, they drowned him. Some say they threw him overboard. Others say they held him under. The details vary depending on who tells the story. Maybe it happened exactly like that. Maybe it didn't happen at all. Historical records are unclear. Some scholars think he was merely exiled. Others believe he died of natural causes years later. But what is clear is this. The Pythagoreans tried desperately to suppress this discovery. They declared it irrational, the unutterable, The unspeakable. Speaking of irrational numbers was forbidden. Anyone who revealed this secret would face the harshest punishment. For decades, they kept it hidden. This dark secret at the heart of mathematics. But here's the thing about truth. You can't kill it. You can kill the messenger, but the message survives. Because that diagonal still has a length. That square root of 2 still exists. Whether Hippasus lived or died, whether he spoke or stayed silent, the mathematics remained unchanged. And slowly, inevitably, the truth spread. Other mathematicians discovered it independently. They found more irrational numbers. The square root of 3. The square root of 5. Eventually, they found pi, the golden ratio, Euler's number. It turned out the universe wasn't just imperfect. It was overwhelmingly irrational. In fact, there are infinitely more irrational numbers than rational ones. Infinitely more. The perfect, harmonious cosmos that Pythagoras imagined? It was never real. Today, we live in a world built on irrational numbers. Every circle you draw involves pi. Every golden rectangle you see involves an irrational ratio. Every computer calculation uses approximations of these unending decimals. Architecture, engineering, physics, computer graphics, music theory. They all depend on these numbers that the Pythagoreans declared unspeakable. These, imperfect, numbers became the foundation of our understanding of the universe. The medieval Islamic mathematicians studied them. The Renaissance artists used them. Modern scientists calculate with them every day. What was once forbidden is now fundamental. Closing. As for Hippasus, whether he drowned in the Mediterranean or lived to old age, his legacy endures. Not because of the discovery itself. Others would have found it eventually. But because of what his story represents. The cost of challenging dogma. The danger of speaking uncomfortable truths. The courage it takes to say, I found something that contradicts what we believe. In every age, in every field, there are people like Hippasus. People who discover something that doesn't fit the accepted wisdom, something that threatens the established order. And in every age, there are brotherhoods ready to silence them. But here's what the Pythagoreans learned too late. Truth doesn't care what you believe. That diagonal still has a length. Even if you kill every mathematician who calculates it, even if you ban every student from speaking of it, even if you throw every discoverer into the sea, the square root of 2 is still the square root of 2. The Mediterranean Sea keeps its secrets. We'll never know for certain what happened to Hippasus on that ancient night. But we know this: some truths cannot be drowned. Some numbers cannot be silenced. And some questions, once asked, can never be unasked. The next time you draw a square and measure its diagonal, remember Hippasus. The man who may have died for a number. The number that refused to die.